because now we know we're looking for ES4. Oh, hey, you started the episode back up. Welcome back to Finding ES4. We just searched for a guide because, like, stuff we already saw was what we're looking for, and I'm lost again.
I had the same problem when I tried playing through this. I couldn't find the thing that I was looking for, even though I had, like, looked at it, like, 3 times.
Yeah.
And the prompt or whatever just didn't come up.
Okay, where were those hole clamps for 3? This is that area, right? Oh, we're at the base.
Yes.
So I need to go. That's probably us, right? Is that our module?
Maybe.
It's one of these module section. It's probably that one. Actually.
Well, and from outside, they definitely all look the same.
They all look samey, but it's this one because that's the one that we lost a section of.
Yeah, it's got the jettisoned.
Yeah, so 4 is going to be like here, right? Yeah, that's 7 there.
Maybe.
Are you 4? Because 3 is the central one here that connected them all. So it's one of these side ones. Oh, here we go. EASA. So what's the A? Like it's it's an imaginary like parallel.
I think it's like a combination between the EU and the United States.
Yeah, and USA.
It's like European something and America.
Yeah, I mean that is something that that is a direction we could have gone as a society, right? Oh, ES4, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's at outer range, so you just got to get closer to report the damage.
Yeah.
There you go.
Damage to.
Oh yeah, like
going
going back to politics. I hear people complaining all the time about how Democrats are socialists and communists and whatever, and I'm like, yeah, no. Like, you want to talk about...
yeah, you want to meet a real lefty. Like,
you want to talk about leftist ideas? How about we start talking about the United States joining the EU?
Yeah.
I
would actually like that. I think the US should join the EU. I mean, obviously it might need to be renamed. Maybe the EASA?
The Atlantic Union.
Yeah, there you go.
NATO.
Yeah, turn NATO into more than just...
a defense pact.
Turn it into an economic pact as well as defense. So we're looking for CN.
I am totally in favor of a one world government.
I am totally in favor of maybe not a one world singular government, because that can get out of control. Like eventually maybe, but like that's when we're like exploring space and stuff.
Right.
For now, I think we need maybe a one world government would be okay, but it needs to be like very loose. It basically needs to be UN plus and nothing more.
Probably UN plus.
Yeah, like it needs to be able to enforce like environmental regulations and stuff like that.
But yeah, you want to talk about some extreme leftist stuff. Let's talk about jailing the CEO of every corporation that burns fossil fuels.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the financial crisis. We didn't prosecute any of them, and most people in the U.S. wanted to. We wanted to prosecute the bankers that caused the crash, and we just sort of weren't allowed to?
Right. That sort of stuff is crazy leftist.
Well, I think jailing the bankers isn't.
Universal healthcare, that's not crazy socialism.
Yeah, that's
what
everyone else has already.
That's pretty moderate.
This feels like damage I want to report.
Yeah, you might not be.
CN.
Yeah,
I might not be at the right angle, or
right. You got to be at the right angle and be close enough.
And we also need to make sure it's.
I'd say get closer.
It specifically says O2 as well. I'm pretty close.
No, you have to be real close to be able to. Like, you have to be close enough where it actually says the name of the thing on your screen.
Well, I'm pretty close.
Yeah, no, now you are. So.
Oh, that's CASA. What are we looking for? CN. Or is CASA CN?
No, CN is CN.
Okay.
It'll say CN on the side.
But yeah, I'm a big old lefty like you. I think we have like minor disagreements on what policy should be.
Right, like on whether the CEOs of fossil fuel companies should get life in prison or just like 20 years.
I mean, I honestly...
I'm kidding, of course, but...
I honestly do think there should be criminal inquiries because they knew about global warming how long ago?
Right, just like the tobacco companies knew that cigarettes were causing cancer.
Yeah, when you do harm to your fellow citizens, like that should be considered a crime. Like, I was playing the game of capitalism, so I should be exempt, is not an excuse. Like, people died.
Right. Yeah.
Like, capitalism is a tool to get people to act properly, and if it's not doing it, then we should do something else. Well, and I cannot find this freaking CN. Is it the center?
Even in his book that like outlined the ideal of capitalism, Adam Smith himself said that this idea of capitalism doesn't work unless the people that engage in it do so ethically and morally, with ethical and moral responsibility.
It's just like voting, right? Like you need people to use it wisely, or else they're not gonna.
Right.
They're not
maybe
gonna
the
do it
solar panel. That's all.
I think it is in this area that it said, because it did say like it's next to 4 continuous solar panels. So I think we're in the neighborhood. Are we looking at the same guide?
I'm not even looking at a guide. I'm just going off of memory.
Okay.
And this was a problem that I had with this game, was there was a little bit too much pixel hunting.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a station module that is all scorched and the solar panels are like broken into tiny pieces. Why is that not good enough? Like, just having that in the frame should be sufficient. I shouldn't have to be sitting at a specific position, at a specific angle, you know?
Not just that, but I want these markings to be better. Like, I understand that in real life they don't need to be, because you're in the physical space, but like we don't have that kind of camera.
Right, this game might have worked a lot better in VR.
Oh my goodness, this game would be incredible in VR. Ooh, you'd get motion. They'd have to do like blurring stuff.
I wonder if this game has PSVR support.
Yeah, it's because neither of us have that.
I do not have a PSVR, so I don't know.
I have a Rift, and someday we are going to start playing
that
Rift
module that
games
you were
on the
looking at, that looked like it was all crushed like a can.
Yeah,
and
up
had
here.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing that you're supposed to report back.
Hunt.
You just have to find the right
pixel
angle
to look at.
Yeah. And it might be that part at the end that's all like exposed.
Just going, yeah. Oh, that could be. Ooh, that. How about that flashing?
Oh yes. It was highlighted.
Yeah, the flashing red part.
There you go.
Yeah. We just had to see it. Okay.
An unknown material is present at hull fracture points.
It's our alien.
That looks like
it's our
what
alien
I found
symbiote.
in EAS4.
It's gonna turn the space station into Venom. Low power levels. Oh, how convenient.
Yes, this game is an unofficial prequel to Spider-Man 3.
God, the others are okay.
This is where Venom comes from. This is where Topher Grace comes from.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, as of this recording, like we just found out that the deal with Marvel and not Universal.
Oh yes, the Sinister Six,
Sony,
the Marvel Sinister Six movie is, I guess, back on now.
Yeah, it's back on, and
thank goodness.
Which one is EAS? On my left or on my right? Can you tell?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I remember it was the one with the disconnected mod.
Oh yeah. So I'm going like basically right there. I believe that was. Oh yeah, there's my thing, my hatch. Yeah, the Sinister Six movie's back on. Andrew Garfield's back. The only or Tom Holland's back. The only thing I'm sad about is everyone had that, that Wet Dream Deadpool cameo thing that they were talking about to get Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and who was the first one? Like all in the same scene in Deadpool.
Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, that was his name.
I read that the makers of Into the Spider-Verse wanted Tobey Maguire to be the voice of the
the first one?
No, the washed up, dad bod.
Peter
Spider-Man.
B. Parker.
The idea being that the original Spider-Man trilogy actually led into that Spider-Man becoming a washed up old has-been of a superhero.
You saw it, right? Like it was supposed to be that.
You're right. And that I got the intent as well. That was the idea. But they actually wanted Tobey Maguire to do the voice for that, because then it would have been like everybody.
They had the rights to him.
I think Tobey Maguire just didn't want to do it. Like he didn't want anything to do with Spider-Man anymore. I could be wrong. It's what I remember reading. But yeah, they didn't get Tobey Maguire. You saw Into the Spider-Verse, right?
Yes, I've seen
phenomenal.
it. I've seen it twice now, and I want to see it again. Have you? We've talked about it on the show, like the sound editing and
of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, listen to the sound editing if you ever watch it again. Like every single scene sounds like where it is. Instead of cleaning it up like a real life movie does, like a live action movie does.
Remind me.
Every
Emma,
space sounds like it's recorded where they're at.
Return to EAS3 and open the search.
Which is particularly impressive for an animated movie, because that would be easy to do in a live-action movie, because you just record the sounds. But in an animated movie, you would actually have to go to the place, and record it that way.
Like it's extra funny because when you're making a movie normally, you want that sound gone because you want the clarity of what people are saying, right? Okay, So we need to unlock that. Hey, I know how to unlock hatches.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. You made me sound like such a dirty girl for knowing. Okay. Unlock hatch. That's L3. That's that one. 5th one down. Okay, we're back to this. 2, 3, 4, 5.
And it's the same combinations every time. Like by the end of the game, you're probably going to have this pattern memorized.
I mean, I don't have it memorized yet, but I'm getting to where I can do it pretty quick. Like the controls are just spongy and slow to respond. That's the only reason it's.
Yeah, and they're deliberately that way because again, it's to convey the idea that you're a malfunctioning computer.
Yeah.
So everything you do has to be slow. It's like an old
it's
school.
not just that. It reminds you that you're in space and everything is kind of momentum and Newtonian.
Right.
So I love that feel.
But then at the same time, like you're a computer, so you should be processing this shit in like milliseconds.
Oh yeah.
And then, but you've got like an actual person, like basically sitting there tapping their foot, like Sonic the Hedgehog, waiting for you to to process, 2 commands.
Have I mentioned how I really look forward to being able to augment my mind to do things like think fast, to basically.
I would say don't get your hopes up.
I know it might be generations. It might be generations. It might be a generation. Like Ray Kurzweil says, it's coming in.
Ray Kurzweil said it should be here by now. Yeah.
Any day now.
Ray Kurzweil was like the day before yesterday. It should have been here.
I thought he said the singularity was like 2032 for like decades now. Hasn't he been very consistent?
Yeah, but I don't think we're close to that though. Like I don't feel like we're on track to make that prediction.
Ray Kurzweil seems to only be like 10 to 30% optimistic at any given time. Oh boy, let's not show us because that's how horror games work.
Well, and this game isn't even again. This game is horror adjacent. So it does some horror-y cliche things, but then it other times it doesn't. So
well, are we gonna find out it's not one of our friends? Oh no, it's the one that we were talking about earlier that got out into his spacesuit and we killed. Was that the one where that was Stas, right?
Maybe.
It must have been depressurized at some point before.
I'm pretty sure that's the guy that was bitching about us in his log.
Where we found the laptop in the detached.
Yeah.
I think you are correct.
So is this like part of our unreliable narrator? Is like this is just happening out of our control? And we don't know if it's out of our control or we're just doing it.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Like there's definitely it's showing like relocating to blank. Like, is that the narrative whipping us around? Or is
no, that's because you were commanded to relocate by what's her name?
Oh, okay.
What's her name? Sam?
Emma.
No, your name is Sam. Her name is Emma.
Emma. Oh my
hey,
God,
another
Emma.
living person
Hey,
apparently.
she's gonna die.
Where are you?
We've just made it to Central.
Who is we?
Oh, we're
Me
sexual?
and Sam. I don't
And I don't know if
where
you noticed,
anyone
but
else
this
is
map
yet,
also
except
shows like the person. Like you can see her there against the
Except
wall,
Stas.
like touching a control
He's
panel,
dead,
and
mate.
like it's actually animated and everything.
God, how?
So like even this
Oh, okay.
map is like
It looks
in
like
real
centrally
time.
pressurized.
Cool.
It's okay now, though. He's in his suit, but I don't think he had O2.
What about Jim? Josh, Ailsa.
Yeah, let's find out about everyone else.
We had like a full power outage. Sam has lost most of his functions, and we're slowly getting him back up to speed.
Okay, so Sam is the whole station, supposed to be.
I'd like
No,
your
Sam
help
is the AI that
stuck
runs
in
the
a
station.
Chinese
Yeah.
arm.
That's what I
But the
mean.
station and Sam are
It's all
still
locked down.
different things.
I'll get Sam to
The
look into it
station
right
functions
now.
without
Sam,
Sam,
check the
Right.
station
Oh,
alerts.
okay.
Make that
and
a priority
Sam
if you can.
functions without the station.
Oh, so he's literally just a helper dude. Supposed to be.
Yeah, well, again, he's like, I mean, because we're not talking about like a Star Trek computer or a Star Trek ship where like everything, all the operations of the ship are managed by the central computer.
Ooh, we can see station alerts now.
This is
Not yet.
not yet. This is this is an AI that's operating like an Alexa or whatever, doing what people tell it to do.
Yeah. UC3 is where we want to go, right?
But everything in the station is still mechanical. Like all the stuff works whether Sam is making it work or not.
Okay. Yeah, redundant like it's supposed to
Right,
be.
like the O2 recyclers are still going to work even if Sam isn't actively, managing them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got a schematic.
And it was the same way in 2001, right?
Oh,
like
we
at the
need to
at the
have
end
a
of
schematic.
the movie when Dave disconnects Hal, right? Like the station or the ship doesn't blow up, you know. Oh, that's actually, and that reminds me. I wanted to joke, but we did it off the episode when we were doing the fusion reactor thing with the magnets. I just wanted to say that it's really nice.
Different schematics for different parts of the station.
That it was really nice that failing to align the magnetic containment field on the experimental fusion reactor like 5 times in a row, like we didn't blow up the station.
Yeah.
That was really convenient.
Well, I mean, actual fusion reactors wouldn't do that. They would just fail.
But it's the, you know, I
it's
mean,
nice that we didn't follow that trope.
You're this science fiction story, like that's usually, you know, like again, we watch an episode of Star Trek and, you know, Geordi is running around, the warp core containment field is at 20%, the ship's gonna blow up and go critical, and it's like, no, what would just happen is you would stop
everything would just power down. That's how fusion works.
Antimatter would no longer be getting injected into the matter, and everything would just turn off.
Yeah. That's the thing that always bothers me.
That's the way stuff like that works in real life. It doesn't. And in fact,
even like Chernobyl was like a series of mistakes. It was like 10 consecutive mistakes. It wasn't just, you know, one thing broke. It was like, oh, they disabled all the safeties because that was the point of the safety test they were doing. And then they didn't realize there was this design flaw in the core. And then they didn't, you know, and then they did this wrong. And then they did a shift change and nobody knew what the hell's going on when they came in.
And it was the same with the
3 Mile Island.
I was going to say the Japanese one. What was it? Fukushima or something like that.
Yeah.
Like like they got hit by like a tidal wave or something, right? The nuclear
an earthquake, then a tsunami.
The reactor was not designed.
And it was a 40-year-old reactor with science that we didn't, you know.
Yeah, that too.
Missing science we don't have yet.
Yeah, nuclear reactor technology has advanced like considerably.
And don't get me wrong, I think we're at the point where we shouldn't continue. We shouldn't build them anymore. I think solar is getting competitive at such a pace that solar is going to outcompete nuclear fission within 10 years. So there's not going to be a point.
I don't know.
Having that sunk
nuclear
cost.
still generates so much more power.
It does.
It's so much more efficient.
And there are places where I'm like, okay, we still can, but
like I think for things like powering like a whole city or like an entire region or a state, like a nuclear power plant is more efficient than just having solar panels fucking everywhere. And it's centralized, right? So it's easier to maintain.
And it's an even load. It doesn't ramp up and down. It ramps up and down to where you want it because you just bring the control rods in and out to taste. I mean, I understand that.
I'm all for solar. Like I think that since the 90s, it should have been mandatory, at least in the city that we live in. Like it should have been a state or a city ordinance that all new residential and commercial and office buildings should be mandated to have rooftop solar. Again, going back to ideas that actually are leftist and not moderate, like, you know, what actually gets proposed. Yeah, every new build in southern Nevada should have solar panels, should be required by the state or by the city to have rooftop solar.
Oh, it literally just required you to, okay, we were supposed to do this. We were supposed to look at station alerts. Okay, coolant loop temperature imbalance.
And I think you're supposed to tell her the stuff, so you got to do the response mode and highlight over the things and.
No, I think
action-informed crew over there.
The current network is reporting multiple errors. Recommend investigation.
Oh, she might have to come in and look at it, and that's why I can't do anything right now.
Have a look at the network hub, please.
At the network hub. Where's the network hub? What does that mean? Is that the center? Is this the network hub? UCL1?
I don't know. I think you're supposed to stay in the alert screen. I could be wrong though.
Okay. So go back up. Wait, alert screen. Okay, hang on.
The door is locked down, and I think there is an override active. Something atmospheric.
Okay. How can she hear me?
Do we maybe want to do this next time?
Oh yeah, this episode's gone on pretty long. Next time on the branch.